Never mistake silence for weakness. Smart wolves don't howl, they watch. Let that sink in. Most people think patience is soft, passive, a sign you can push, prod, and provoke without consequence. But when you're dealing with a Sigma male, patience isn't weakness, it's warning, a silent countdown. And when it hits 0, you won't get a tantrum. You'll get removed, quietly, instantly, and permanently. Here's a brutal fact. Studies show emotionally intelligent men are less reactive, not because they don't feel things, but because they calculate responses like a chess grandmaster in a room full of checkers players. The Sigma male? He's 10 moves ahead, calm on the surface, but already planning your exit the moment you overstep. So if you think testing a Sigma male's patience is just pushing buttons for fun, you might want to check if you've accidentally activated the self-destruct sequence of your access to him. Buckle up. You're about to find out why messing with a Sigma's patience is not just a mistake. It's the kind of mistake people don't get a second chance to make. And yes, if this hits a little too close to home, you're probably already on his blocked list. Number 1, you can't guilt him, because his conscience is already clean. You can't guilt a Sigma male, it just doesn't work. He doesn't operate on the same emotional software most people do. He's not driven by the need to be liked or forgiven or understood. If he walked away from a situation, it's because he already ran every angle in his mind and made peace with the outcome. He's done the emotional math, and if it doesn't add up, he cuts the loss. Clean, sharp, and without drama. So when you come back with guilt trips, tears, emotional manipulation, or the classic, "I didn't mean it," you're basically knocking on a locked door in a house that's already been sold. The reason guilt doesn't work on him is simple. His conscience is already clean. He knows what he brought to the table. He knows the energy, effort, loyalty, and silence he gave, even when he could have exploded. He stayed calm through the disrespect. He gave chances when others would have walked, and when you finally pushed him past his limit, he didn't lash out. He let go. That's not cruelty, that's discipline. And that's terrifying for people who are used to controlling others through emotions. People often mistake emotional detachment for coldness, but with Sigma males, it's self-respect. He's not emotionally detached because he doesn't feel, he just doesn't beg for acknowledgement. He knows who he is, and if you don't see his value, he's not going to force you to. He won't write paragraphs to explain himself or cry in your inbox at 3 a.m. He's already filed you under lesson learned and moved on. What makes this hit harder is that people usually realize what they did when it's already too late. They come crawling back with guilt-laced apologies, expecting a window to still be open. But with a Sigma, once he closes a door, it's sealed. No key, no knocking, no do-over. He's not interested in emotional blackmail or games. His silence is not a void you can fill with guilt. It's a wall you helped build, brick by brick. You don't guilt a man who's already owned his side of the story and walked away with his head high. You just become part of the past he never talks about. Number 2, his patience is a countdown, not a virtue. His patience is a countdown, not a virtue. People get it twisted. They see him quiet, composed, seemingly unbothered, and assume he's dealing with it. No, he's not. What he's actually doing is tracking every moment, every word, every subtle disrespect, and silently shaving time off how long you get to stay in his life. He's not tolerating. He's timing. Every time you push a boundary or test his limits, you're not getting away with it, you're just accelerating your expiration date. You think he's giving you grace? He's not, he's giving you rope. What you do with it determines whether you climb or hang yourself. And here's the twist. You won't see it coming. There's no yelling, no emotional outbursts, no dramatic exit speech. Just silence. One day you're in, the next you're out. No explanation, no closure, no hint that you were even close to the edge. This isn't about him being heartless. It's about him knowing his worth. A Sigma male doesn't hang around hoping people will change. He watches, calculates, and when the countdown hits 0, he removes himself, emotionally, physically, energetically. You don't even get a warning shot, because in his world, if you need one, you've already failed. You're not building tolerance when you test him. You're burning time. And when that time runs out, so does your access. It's not a question of if he'll leave. It's only a matter of when he's had enough of pretending you'll get it. And when he's done, you'll realize too late that you were standing in the middle of a silent goodbye, one tick at a time. Number 3, his loyalty is dangerous, because once broken, it rewires him permanently. His loyalty is dangerous, not because it's fragile, but because it runs so deep that breaking it causes permanent damage. A Sigma male doesn't offer loyalty easily. It's not some generic setting he gives to everyone who smiles at him. It's built over time through observation, consistency, and proof. When he gives it, it's full on. He defends you in rooms you're not even in. He keeps your secrets, supports your dreams, and forgives things that quietly cut him just because he believes in the bigger picture. But the moment you betray that, you don't just lose him, you change him. See, most people go through heartbreak and bounce back. A Sigma doesn't bounce. He evolves, colder, sharper, more alert. Not just toward you, but toward every single person who even remotely reminds him of you. You've officially corrupted a part of his emotional code. He won't hate you. That would mean you still have space in his mind. No, he'll just use you as the blueprint of what never to allow again. You become the example, the warning label, the glitch in the system that taught him to firewall his emotions even tighter. It's not about holding a grudge, it's deeper than that. He's learned not to let certain energies anywhere near his peace again, and what stings the most is you won't even get the satisfaction of seeing his pain. Because Sigma males don't broadcast betrayal, they internalize it, then upgrade their emotional firewall so it never happens again. So when you push him past that invisible limit, you're not just burning a bridge, you're rerouting his entire mental GPS. You've shifted how he sees people, how he connects, how much of himself he's willing to share in the future. And it won't just be you who feels the impact. The next person who could have gotten the best version of him, they'll get a more reserved, more armored man, all because someone before them made themselves unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. You don't just lose a Sigma, you lose the version of him that trusted, and that version doesn't come back. Number 4, he doesn't clap back, he levels up without you. He doesn't clap back, he levels up without you. That's the sting most people don't see coming. They come for the reaction, the argument, the war of words. But a Sigma male won't give you that satisfaction. He doesn't do emotional ping pong. You throw shade, he throws silence. You act reckless, he acts unavailable. While you're busy staging drama and waiting for the fireworks, he's already plotting a future that doesn't include your chaos and thriving in it. This man isn't interested in revenge. He's not going to blow up your phone with "how dare you" messages. He won't post cryptic quotes for attention. He doesn't need to prove a point because his progress is the point. He'll let you think he didn't care until you check back and realize he's healthier, more focused, glowing differently, and surrounded by peace. While you're still decoding his silence, he's built a life so elevated you don't even know how to reach it. And here's where it really hurts. He won't block you. He'll let you watch. You'll see him rising, not bitter but better. And the worst part is he won't even be trying to impress you. You just won't matter anymore. That's how Sigma males move. Their silence is not weakness. It's strategy. It's how they stay clean while letting time and elevation do all the talking. So if you ever cross a Sigma thinking you'll get a dramatic scene or some explosive reaction, good luck. What you'll actually get is the deafening sound of distance. You'll be talking to ghosts while he's already 6 months into a new mindset, new routines, new connections. And all you'll be left with is the sinking realization that you were never part of his long-term plan. Just a chapter he closed without a single word. Number 5, he doesn't argue because you're not on his frequency anymore. He doesn't argue because you're not on his frequency anymore. Once a Sigma male checks out, he doesn't announce it. He just disappears mentally, emotionally, and energetically. You could be right in front of him, yelling, explaining, begging, and it won't matter. You're speaking into a void. The man you're trying to reach already tuned out and changed the channel. You just haven't caught up to that reality yet. Arguing with you would require him to care, to see you as someone still worthy of debate, but when he's done, even your words lose weight. Everything you say becomes background noise, a distant hum with no meaning. He's not trying to prove a point anymore. He's not trying to win. You've already lost him, and you didn't even notice it happened. That's what makes it brutal. You went from someone he studied, invested in, respected, to someone whose name doesn't even trigger emotion anymore. He doesn't roll his eyes, he doesn't get annoyed, he just feels nothing. And in the Sigma world, nothing is the final judgment. It's not hate, it's not love, it's complete indifference. And that's irreversible. Testing him over and over, pushing his buttons to see how far he'll bend might give you short-term power. But the second he decides you're not worth the energy, it's game over. You get downgraded from someone he considered important to static noise he no longer hears. And the scariest part? He won't fight to keep you. He won't even try to fix it. Because once a Sigma male senses you don't respect his peace, you're quietly dismissed from his universe like a glitch in the system. You won't get closure. You won't get one final argument to defend yourself. You'll just get silence. The kind that feels like a mirror reflecting back everything you did wrong, with no chance to rewrite the ending. You don't argue with a Sigma male because when he's truly done, you're not even in the room anymore. Number 6. You think he's calm because he's weak. Wrong. He's calm because he's already won. You think he's calm because he's weak. Wrong. He's calm because he's already won. While you're misreading his silence as hesitation or passivity, he's sitting there with the emotional equivalent of a mic drop in his back pocket. Sigma males don't explode, they don't put on a show. They just let you keep talking, acting, testing, until you unknowingly walk yourself right out of their life. No door slammed, no dramatic exit, just absence. And not the kind that begs to be chased, the kind that doesn't come back. His calm isn't submission, it's control. He's calm because he knows exactly what game you're playing and he's already seen the ending. You're still trying to trigger him into responding, and he's already logged out. He's emotionally 10 steps ahead, watching you audition for a role that no longer exists. That's the twist. You didn't get removed as punishment. You got removed because you exposed yourself. You lost your spot by proving you didn't deserve it. A Sigma male doesn't need to punish you with words or actions. He lets your behavior speak for itself. The more you push, the more you show him who you really are, and that's all he needs. He doesn't react because your drama isn't even in his league. Why would a man who values his peace start a shouting match in a room where he's already decided to turn off the lights? What most people never realize until it's too late is this. His silence is the judgment. His lack of reaction is the answer. You don't get fireworks, you get forgotten. And when the dust settles, you'll be stuck with the realization that he didn't destroy you. He simply didn't need to. You did the job for him. He's not calm because he's weak. He's calm because the moment you crossed the line, he mentally filed you under not worth disturbing my peace, and that file's never getting reopened. Number 7, he doesn't raise his voice because he doesn't need to convince you. He doesn't raise his voice because he doesn't need to convince you. That's the trap people fall into with Sigma males. They expect a reaction, a rebuttal, some desperate attempt to prove a point or defend their worth. But he won't do any of that. If you can't already see what he brings to the table, he's not going to waste his breath convincing you of the obvious. He's not in the business of begging people to recognize value, especially his own. Getting a rise out of a Sigma is like trying to start a fire with wet matches. He's emotionally flame-proof. You could insult him, question his intentions, accuse him of being cold. And he'll just stare at you like you're not even speaking his language, because in that moment, you're not. You've shown him that you're not operating from a place of respect, and that's the only language he understands. So instead of shouting, pleading, or proving, he disconnects quietly, permanently. This is where it hits differently. While others argue to be understood, he walks away to protect his peace. And when he does, that door doesn't stay cracked open. There's no dramatic pause, no final chance, no second round. Once it's shut, it's sealed. You don't get to circle back when you realize what you lost, because the second you made him feel like he had to prove his worth, you failed the test. He's not trying to win an argument. He's not trying to change your mind. If you don't get it, you're not meant to. And he's okay with that. He won't chase clarity, because he knows his silence is the clearest message you'll ever get from him. No noise, no explanation, no raised voice. Just a man who knew his value, saw you couldn't, and let you go without blinking. Number 8, patience isn't his weakness, it's his test for you. Patience isn't his weakness, it's his test for you. That's the part most people miss. They think the Sigma male is just sitting there taking hit after hit because he's too calm or too soft. No, he's watching. He's noting patterns. He's collecting data on how you handle pressure, discomfort, boundaries, silence. While you think you're poking the bear, you're really being observed like a lab rat that doesn't even know it's in the maze. He doesn't blow up because he doesn't need to. His silence isn't tolerance, it's calculation. He's watching how you respond to not getting your way, how you talk when you think he won't react, how you treat him when you assume he's not keeping score. Spoiler, he always is. Not with petty intentions, but with surgical precision. He's not reactive because he's not emotionally desperate. He's watching to see if your character can sit next to his piece without trying to destroy it. When he finally makes a decision, it's not emotional, it's final. You don't even get to apologize. Not because he's cruel, but because the test is over. He gave you more than enough time and you flunked. It wasn't just one mistake. It was the build-up, the patterns, the things you thought he didn't notice. But he did. Every time. What makes it brutal is that you'll never know when the shift happened. One day he was fully present and the next he was done. No warning, no meltdown, just a quiet exit while you're still wondering when the mood changed. But the truth is, he gave you more chances than you deserved, not because he's weak, but because he was giving you the chance to pass the test. The problem? You thought he was the one being tested. By the time you realized the roles were reversed, you're no longer part of the equation. He wasn't the one on trial, you were. And you just became the story he'll never repeat, the lesson he quietly tucked into his mental archives, and the closed chapter you'll never reopen. Number 9, he stores disrespect like ammunition. He stores disrespect like ammunition. Not in the way people expect, though. He's not plotting revenge or waiting for a moment to explode. That's not his style. A Sigma male doesn't operate on impulse. He operates on observation. Every eye roll you thought was harmless, every passive-aggressive comment you brushed off, every backhanded compliment or just joking insult. He noted it. Silently. Meticulously. And while you were busy thinking he was letting it slide, he was actually building a case with the precision of a surgeon preparing for one clean, final cut. He doesn't confront you each time because he's not emotionally chaotic. He doesn't need to teach you how to treat him. He just needs enough data to know whether to keep you or delete you. So when the time comes and he decides you've crossed one too many lines, he won't scream, won't argue, won't even flinch. He'll just vanish. Not in some dramatic storm-off, but in a way that feels unnervingly exact. That's the part that rattles people. His exit feels surgical because it is. Emotionless, calculated, permanent. You'll wonder how he walked away so clean, how he didn't even seem shaken. That's because the emotional damage didn't happen that day. It happened in pieces, quietly. You just didn't notice. He gave you room to self-correct, to realize your tone, your words, your attitude. But when you didn't, he logged that too. And once the log is full, you're done. Not because he hates you, but because he respects himself far more than he ever needed your apology. There's no explosion, just elimination. He won't argue about what you did wrong. He won't rehash the past. He won't give you a breakdown of your mistakes. You don't get a detailed report, you just get removed. And by the time you realize it, he's already operating in a new emotional ecosystem where your name doesn't even register. That's not revenge, that's discipline. It's how a Sigma male reclaims his peace, with silence, strategy, and surgical precision. Number 10, you won't know you crossed the line until you're outside of it. You won't know you crossed the line until you're outside of it. That's what makes dealing with a Sigma male so disorienting for those who don't understand his nature. He doesn't give warnings like flashing neon signs or dramatic confrontations. There's no shouting match or emotional fireworks to signal that you've gone too far. Instead, he quietly pulls the rug out from under you. No explanations, no arguments, no chances to plead your case. One day you'll send a message and get no reply. You'll try to start a conversation and he'll simply ignore you. You'll look for signs, reasons, anything that explains why he's vanished, but there won't be any. That's because to him, respect isn't a favor you ask for or negotiate over. It's a baseline requirement. If you fail to meet it, you don't earn a second chance. You lose the privilege to be in his life. He doesn't explode because his patience isn't weakness. It's a filter. It separates those who truly value him from those who only take him for granted. When someone crosses that invisible boundary, he doesn't waste energy on drama. He just expires the connection like an app you forgot to renew, silent, absolute, and final. This is brutal because it leaves you in the dark. You're not given a chance to fix things or to explain yourself. You're simply no longer part of his world, and the door shuts behind you without so much as a creak. In the Sigma code, respect is non-negotiable, and once lost, it's not reclaimed by apologies or promises. It's gone. You don't get to argue or bargain your way back in. So if you find yourself wondering why he suddenly seems like a ghost in your life, don't look for a fight. Look inward and ask yourself if you ever truly honored the space he gave you, because with a Sigma male, crossing the line isn't marked by an explosion, it's marked by your quiet absence. Number 11, you're not testing his patience. You're auditioning for removal. You're not testing his patience. You're auditioning for removal. Most people think pushing a Sigma male is like prodding a calm, passive creature who'll eventually snap or plead for peace. But that's exactly where they're wrong. What you're actually doing is giving him every reason to decide you're expendable. He's not waiting for a meltdown. He's silently taking notes, running the calculations, and preparing to erase you from his life with zero hesitation. He doesn't need you the way you think he does, or at all. He's a self-sufficient machine built to operate smoothly without the chaos of unnecessary emotional baggage. When you push too far, it's not that he's losing control. He's reclaiming it by deciding you don't belong in his system anymore. You might see yourself as the tester, but you're really the subject under review. And the verdict isn't good. This isn't about pride or ego, it's pure survival. A Sigma male's world runs on efficiency. If you disrupt his flow, waste his energy, or disrespect his boundaries, you're not just an annoyance, you're a threat to his peace and productivity. And in his mind, threats don't get second chances. You don't get a warning label or a handle with care sticker. You get removed. The most brutal truth? You won't see it coming. No fight, no drama, no last-ditch attempts to keep you around, just quiet deletion. You're gone before you even realize you were on thin ice. And by the time you wonder what happened, he's already 6 steps ahead, operating a better, cleaner emotional life without you in the picture. Number 12, he doesn't react because he's designing his exit. He doesn't react because he's designing his exit. When you push a Sigma male expecting a fiery comeback or a meltdown, you're missing the whole point. That calm, unreadable expression isn't confusion or weakness. It's the silent blueprint for your removal from his life. Behind that poker face, he's already planning the cleanest, most efficient way to make you irrelevant. You see, reacting is for those who still see value in the fight. For a Sigma, if you're testing him, you've already lost that value. So why waste time arguing with someone you're ready to cut loose? Instead, he channels his energy into detaching mentally, strategizing the exit that won't drag him down or cause unnecessary noise. That's silence. It's not peace. It's closure in progress. By not engaging, he's setting the stage for your quiet disappearance from his world. He's mentally checking out, clearing the space you once occupied and mapping out a life where your presence is just a faded memory. You might think he's calm because he's unaffected, but the truth is far more calculated. That stillness hides the finality, the end of your relevance, the conclusion of your chapter, and by the time you realize it, he's already moved on, leaving behind a ghost of someone who once mattered but no longer does. In the end, testing a Sigma male's patience is like poking a volcano that doesn't erupt. It just stops recognizing your existence. No fireworks, no chaos, just a cold surgical deletion that leaves no room for return. His silence is not weakness, it's strategy. His calmness is not confusion, it's closure. And when he walks away, he doesn't look back because he's already built a better world without you in it. The mistake people make is thinking they'll get a warning, a fight, or a final conversation. But with a Sigma, you won't even know the moment you became irrelevant. You'll just feel the absence where significance used to be. That's the real danger. Not in his reaction, but in the fact that you'll never get one. So if you think patience is permission, think again. With a Sigma, it's not a buffer, it's the quiet before permanent disconnection. Don't test the man who's already figured out how to live without you, and if you've ever underestimated that kind of power, well, now you know. If this hit home or opened your eyes, don't just scroll past. Subscribe to the channel for more no-nonsense insights like this. Like the video if you found it valuable, drop a comment to share your thoughts or experiences, and don't forget to share it with someone who needs to hear the truth about Sigma males. Your support means everything,